Welcome to the Running Library. Today we're breaking down the key ideas from Emotional Intelligence by Daniel Goleman. Let's get into it. Being smart isn't the same as being effective. You can have a high IQ and still sabotage your relationships, your work, and your health just by not knowing what to do with your emotions. Welcome back to the Running Library. Today we're talking about Daniel Goleman's Emotional Intelligence, a book that helped popularize the idea that the skills we use to understand and manage feelings can matter as much as raw brain power, sometimes more, when it comes to living well and working well. At a high level, emotional intelligence argues that humans have more than one kind of intelligence driving success. There's the cognitive side, reasoning, memory, problem solving, and there's the emotional side, recognizing what you feel, regulating impulses, reading other people accurately, and handling relationships with skill. Goleman pulls from psychology and neuroscience to explain why emotions can hijack our thinking, how habits of attention shape our inner life, and why empathy and self-control are not soft extras, but core competencies. The book is partly an explanation of how the brain handles emotion, and partly a practical case for teaching emotional skills in families, schools, and workplace. It's not a step-by-step workbook, but it does give you a clear framework to start noticing what's happening inside you and what's happening between you and other people. So who is this book for? It's for anyone who's ever thought, I know what the right move is, so why did I do the opposite? It's for managers who want better leadership tools than pressure and performance reviews. It's for parents and educators who care about resilience, self-control, and social skills. And it's for high achievers who feel stuck because talent and effort aren't translating into influence, collaboration, or peace of mind. Who might not love it? If you're looking for a tightly controlled academic text with lots of technical detail and cautious claims, this book can feel broad and message-driven. And if you want a simple hack, 3 tricks to master emotions instantly, this isn't that. Emotional intelligence is more like fitness than a magic switch. It's trainable, but it's trained over time. Now let's get into 6 key takeaways, each with a concrete example so it doesn't stay abstract. First takeaway, emotions can hijack your thinking, especially the under stress. One of the central ideas Goleman discusses is that strong emotion can take over the system faster than rational thought can catch up. You've probably felt this. An email hits your inbox, your chest tightens, and suddenly you're typing a reply you'll regret. Or someone makes a comment in a meeting and you snap. Then later, you realize you misunderstood their intent. The takeaway isn't emotions are bad. It's that the emotional brain can trigger a rapid response, fight, flight, freeze, before your reflective brain has fully processed the situation. If you don't build a pause between feeling and action, your smartest plans get overruled by a moment of heat. Second takeaway. Self-awareness is the foundation. If you can't name it, you can't manage it. Emotional intelligence starts with noticing what you're feeling in real time and recognizing patterns. Many people live with vague internal weather. I'm fine, I'm stressed, I'm annoyed. But the more precise you get, the more options you have. For example, I'm angry can actually be disappointment plus feeling disrespected plus fear that you're losing control of a situation. If you can identify those components, your response changes. Instead of venting, you might say, I'm frustrated because I expected clarity, and I'm worried we're going to miss the deadline. Can we align on the next step? That's not just being polite. That's turning raw emotion into usable information. Third takeaway. Self-regulation beats willpower because it's about systems, not heroics. Goleman's message here is that emotional intelligence isn't pretending you don't have impulses. It's building the ability to choose your response and shaping your environment and habits so the best response is easier. Think about a common scenario. You get critical feedback. The impulse is to defend yourself, explain, counterattack, or shut down. Self-regulation looks like buying yourself time. You might say, Thanks. Let me sit with that and get back to you. Then you take a walk, calm your nervous system, and return with questions. Can you point to an example? What would good look like next time? That's emotional skill. You're not denying the sting, you're steering the outcome. Fourth takeaway, empathy is a skill, and it changes everything about communication. A lot of people treat empathy like a personality trait. You either have it or you don't. Emotional intelligence pushes the idea that empathy is a capacity you can strengthen, noticing cues, listening for what's not being said, and understanding another person's perspective and feelings. Here's a simple example. A coworker misses a deadline and you're irritated. The low EQ response is, "You dropped the ball." The high EQ response is still accountable but curious. "I noticed the deadline slipped. What got in the way?" You might discover they're overwhelmed, unclear on priorities, or dealing with something personal. Empathy doesn't mean excusing poor performance. It means you gather accurate information about the human system you're working with so you can solve the real problem, not just punish the symptom. This is also why empathy is so tied to trust. People don't open up to someone who only listens for ammunition. Fifth takeaway. Social skills are not being charming. They're the ability to manage relationships and influence outcomes. Goleman frames emotional intelligence as something that shows up in real-world interactions, handling conflict, persuading, collaborating, leading, and building rapport. And crucially, social skill isn't manipulation, it's coordination. Example: you're in a tense group project. 2 people disagree and the room is getting quiet. Social skill is being able to name the tension without escalating it. It sounds like we have 2 priorities competing, speed and quality. Can we list what we're optimizing for and decide together? That move does 3 things. It lowers the emotional temperature, it creates shared language, and it shifts the group from personal conflict to problem solving. This is why emotionally intelligent leaders often look calm. They're not calm because they don't care. They're calm because they can hold the emotional field steady long enough for people to think. Sixth takeaway. Emotional intelligence can be taught, and it matters in families, schools, and workplaces. A big theme in the book is that emotional skills aren't fixed at birth. They're learned through modeling, coaching, and practice. That includes basics like recognizing feelings, delaying gratification, coping with frustration, and repairing relationships after conflict. In a family context, that might look like helping a child label emotions and choose a response. You're angry because your plan changed. It's okay to be angry. It's not okay to hit. Let's figure out what you can do instead. In a workplace context, it might look like training managers to give feedback without triggering defensiveness or building team norms for conflict resolution. The point is, emotional intelligence isn't a luxury add-on for nice people. It's an essential part of functioning in any group, because groups run on emotion whether they admit it or not. Now, before we jump into an action plan, a quick reality check. Emotional Intelligence is a big, influential book, but it's also a big idea book. You won't finish it and suddenly become unshakable. The value is in using it as a lens, to notice your triggers, understand other people more accurately, and practice better responses consistently. So here's a simple 3-step action plan you can start this week. No special tools required. Step 1. Build a daily 60-second emotional check-in. Once a day, before work, after lunch, or when you get home, pause and ask, what am I feeling right now? What triggered it? What do I need? Then name the feeling as specifically as you can. Not just bad, but anxious, resentful, embarrassed, overwhelmed, lonely, restless. Specificity reduces confusion, and confusion is where impulsive choices breed. Step 2. Install a pause script for high trigger moments. Pick one sentence you will use when you feel emotionally activated, so you don't improvise under pressure. Examples: I want to respond thoughtfully. Give me a moment. Let me think about that and come back to you. I'm feeling heated. I'm going to take a short break so I don't say something unhelpful. This is self-regulation in real life. You're not avoiding the issue. You're choosing the timing that makes a good outcome possible. Step 3. Practice empathy with one small behavior change. Reflect before you rebut. In your next disagreement, try this rule. Summarize the other person's point in a way they would agree with before you give your own view. It can be as simple as, so what you're saying is, or, it sounds like your main concern is. This does two things. It forces you to actually understand, and it signals respect. And respect lowers defensiveness. Lower defensiveness means better information. Better information means better decisions. As we wrap up, here's the core message to keep. Emotional intelligence isn't about being emotional. It's about being skilled with emotion, your own and other people's, so your values, goals, and relationships don't get dragged around by whatever feeling shows up loudest. If you've ever felt like your life is being shaped by reactions you didn't choose, snapping, shutting down, overthinking, people-pleasing, avoiding conflict, emotional intelligence gives you a framework for taking that steering wheel back. If you want more videos like this from the Running Library, books that help you think clearer, communicate better, and live with more intention, subscribe and tell me in the comments. What situation in your life would improve the most if your emotional intelligence leveled up by just 10%? If you found this summary helpful, subscribe to the Running Library for new insights every day. And tell me in the comments what book or article you want next.